everybody, Victor Medina, and we're back with another 5 Fact Friday. We have a series of fantastic links for you all around a theme with Apple and its new products. But before I get into that, I've got to tell you a story. We must be getting in and around Halloween season, because when I came into the office yesterday, there was a bat that was hanging on my blinds here in my office. Like right there was a bat. It was totally asleep, and we thought, well, maybe we'll just figure out a way of capturing it to get it out of the office. So I took one of those party trays that has a clear top, big plastic, and I put it on top of the bat, and I was gonna come in from behind, trying to figure out if I could get the bat loose. As soon as I got close to touching the bat came out with the whole fangs thing. I was like, nope, I want no part of it. So we called the pest control people, and I just happened to have a networking thing that I left for in the middle of the day. And when I came back, the bat was gone, and I was asking no more questions. I'm glad somebody who was a professional took care of that. But I would tell you, it must be time for Halloween, because if there's a bat there, you know we're coming up on spooky season. Listen, I wanted to talk to you about 3 links that are all related to the Apple products that are being released on this Friday. So last Tuesday, on September 10th, Apple held a keynote event where it introduced 3 products and 3 things that have links in today's video series that I wanted to share with you, because they are related to, I think, the way normal people. I'm a fanboy, I'm way into Apple stuff, but even the average person is going to find something new and interesting with the new products that they've released. So one of the first things that they did is they released a phone, which is an update to last year's phone. And one of the things that makes it unique is a new camera series that's in the back. They have a series of 3 cameras, and they are using those cameras to do a few interesting things that you might enjoy if you're looking to upgrade your phone. The first is they've got 3 different lenses on there so that you can get wide and ultra wide shots, which allows you to get more into a particular shot than you were able to do before. The other one that's actually more interesting to me is the way that they're using software to enhance a night mode. So it's your ability to take photographs in the evening and have everything really come out clear. Now, a lot of professional photographers are not going to be happy with the results like this, but amateur photographers are going to be tickled that they're going to be able to see as much of the scenery as they were trying to take a photo without it being grainy. And they do this a lot with software. So I'm including a link to a review by somebody at The Verge, Nilay Patel, who is a big technologist, and he does a really good job of laying out all of the features of the new iPhone 11. And by the way, if you're just interested in the production values of a review video, what they did at The Verge is fantastic, unlike anything I've seen before, so that's worth checking out. The next link is actually about the new Apple Watch, which is a Series 5 watch. Now, one of the things that they've done is knock out a complaint that they've had in the past about the display not being on all the time. In other words, you'd have to raise your hand and tap on the watch in order for it to show you what the time is. And so what they've done is updated the software so that it is always on. Now, that in and of itself is probably not a reason to upgrade, but they've enhanced the battery life, and they've also made it a phone along with, a watch along with last year's watch, which has a lot of functions for people's health. So you can use it in order to track what your heart rate is, or perform a very sort of rudimentary or early level EKG. Similarly, if you fall, it will have an auto dial for 911. Now, I think this is really good for folks that are getting older. They want to make sure, especially if they're alone, that they are cared for, they're protected, okay? That's one of those things that I think would be important in order to do, to look at that watch and be able to have that security and safety. The last thing, by the way, is about the iPad, which is one of the last big devices that Apple has, and they're releasing an update to the software there that makes it more of a desktop class machine. And so iPad OS has been released. So again, those are all 3 links that are in there that are all about Apple, serving my happiness. I can't wait for the devices that are getting delivered on Friday, because you know me, you know that I ordered them because I'm a fanboy and I've got to have the latest things. Okay. 2 more links before we wrap up for this week. The first is Tennessee might be the first state to take Medicaid on as a block grant. Now, that has a lot of technical terms that are around that. In other words, there's a certain relationship that they're going to enter into with the federal government by taking it as a block grant. But there are a lot of critics of that maneuver that say, while it might be more fiscally conservative to do that, it's actually going to lower the number of people who are served under the Medicaid program. So that'll be interesting to watch. And finally, and a little bit more on a lighthearted note, road tripping in retirement. A lot of people want to travel when they retire, and one of the ways that you do that is to take a road trip. Like you did maybe when you were 20 years old, you might have gone to Woodstock or anything else. What does a road trip in retirement look like? And our last link does that. Now, I did want to wrap up letting you know that we do have a series of seminars that are coming up on October 1st and October 10th. They are almost at capacity. If you're interested in joining us, those are one of those that we're going to end up hosting as a way to introduce good legal planning, and we're doing it at Ruth's Chris. So again, we've got limited space, but if you are interested, let us know about that, and we will let you know whether or not you qualify to attend. But we will be holding a next series of seminars at Rider University later in October. So if you're interested in that information or attending that series of seminars, reply to this email and let us know, or forward it on to somebody that might be interested and let them know that they should contact us. All right, so I hope you make it over to the Apple Store, check out some of the new devices that are on there, check out the rest of the links, and we'll catch you in a couple weeks on the next 5 Fact Friday. Bye-bye.